Vincent. Azron Brian is a software engineer at KCB Bank Group. He'll be talking to us. If you have any questions, please along the session when they're speaking, maybe just leave a comment on the chat box, the chat using the chat icon below the screen. Then if we also have Vincent. We have Vincent from Eldoret National Polytechnic. He's a systems developer and also the head of department at or the Department of E-Learning. So Vincent Sabulei and Azron Brand, welcome to Eldohub. Please, maybe starting with Azron, introduce yourselves.
Okay, thank you, Albert. Please confirm you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm excited to be here. My name is Azron, as introduced. I'm a software engineer with the KCB Group. I previously was at Eldohub, so when Albert said welcome to Eldohub, it felt a little weird because not so long ago I was on calls and I was welcoming our guests
just say welcome, Albert, to Eldohub.
All in all, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here, and I look forward to having this session with the rest of the guests on the call. I'm made to understand that we have students, the full stack students from the Innovation Academy, and also the tech talents from Sasakazi. Looking forward to the session. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Azron. Please, Vincent, introduce yourself.
Yes, good morning, members. My name is Vincent Sabulei. I like using my name, my home name, Kipkemboi. I'm currently the head of department e-learning and ICT integration at the Eldoret National Polytechnic. I'm also a chairman of a committee, what we call the website development committee, and among other things. But I also develop systems, customized systems for the institution. We have so far for the past 3 years been able to develop more than 8 systems which are customized to the institution, majorly on .NET framework. My major language is C#. So that is just a brief introduction about myself. Maybe we'll be able to share more as the meeting goes by. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vincent. That was a really detailed and very interesting introduction. So I'll just throw at you a very general question. Now that we have our tech talents from Sasakazi, and we also have our students from Eldohub Innovation Academy, what would you tell them, or what would you tell them to expect once they're done with their program, or as they are growing in their tech journey, in their tech professionals? So what should you tell them? We'll start with Azron again. So, and please be as open as possible. Just touch on any topic that you feel they should really focus on as they grow.
Okay, so I don't have much to say on what to expect, but one thing for sure is expect competition, because you're not the only talent who might be seeking for the role, or you might not be the only innovator who is developing a given idea. But with that said, expecting competition really sets the mood right now. So if you know that the market is very competitive, what is it that I can do now to give me some kind of an advantage of what will make me distinct from any other innovator or a tech talent with whom I might be competing for a role or an idea that I'm putting out there. So we'll get to share more on that, but competition, yeah, sure.
Awesome, thank you. Vincent?
Yeah, for me, I think what you have to expect is that, funny enough, we are in a field which is rapidly changing every day. And what you think you know today may not be helpful to you tomorrow. So for me, basically, expect to go out of your way so that you can be able to learn the new technologies which are currently out there in the market. Expect competition. There are people there who are, for lack of a better word, who are much more even smarter than you. But it doesn't mean that you're not the best of yourself. So expect competition. Expect the world to be brutal to you. There are times even when probably you'll sell an idea and people will shrug you off like it's nothing to them. So don't expect people to be always good to you. You must be willing to go out there and face them and show them what you have. If you have a talent, you must be willing to be really, really out there and take yourself out there and show them that you have talent. So expect the world to be brutal to you. That's what I can be able to say.
Yeah, that is really insightful. Expect the world to be brutal. So you also have to be brutal in a way. Now that we know what to expect, how can we prepare and how can we be ready for these challenges that are out there and for the tough times that are ahead of us? How can we prepare for those times? So again, just be as open as you can. You can take as much time as you want. So you can touch on as many topics as you can. This time let's start with Vincent.
Yeah, thank you. I think that being said, what you really have to do is one thing in this life. It's about learning, and continuous learning. And I'm sure most of you have heard about a saying that says, learning is a continuous process. If I look at my life and my journey in tech, I can say I've been able to learn a lot. You must be willing actually to go out of your way. Majorly do a lot of research in your field if you're good at something. First of all, I would say nobody is good at everything. You must be willing to look at the full spectrum that we have in tech, find what you're good at, and focus all your energy, all your time, and all your research in doing and making sure that you're able to get what is out there in the market. The world, the good thing is that where we are right now, the internet is a vast knowledge of so many things that you can be able to learn. We have YouTube, we have websites that you can get information from. But above all, be willing to do a lot of, I can say research, because if I look at my journey, I've been able to do a lot of research. I've been able, God, I've been faithful. I've been able to meet a lot of friends who have shown me a lot of things. So I can also say you have to be able to learn from your friends, your colleagues, open up, have an open mind. And we always say the foolish person is one who thinks they know more or they know everything. Nobody in this world knows everything. Even Bill Gates doesn't know everything. So just know your weaknesses and work on your weaknesses. Above all, have an open mind that you can learn from anybody in this world. Hata ule mtu mwenye anashona viatu, believe me, you can be able to learn something from those guys. So have an open mind and know that you can be able to learn from so many people. But for me, it's all about learning, and learning every day. Thank you.
Azron.
So I do not have a different point. Actually, I agree with everything Vincent has shared, and more so how he's put it. There's a lot to learn, of course. Learning, I get stressed. Learning. I think that is rightly the HOD of e-learning at the institution. But just to stress on this point, learning, focusing on a niche, and then finding a niche and then focusing all your energy and effort to that end is a good one. But just to add, take this a little further, is being able to learn quickly. Of course, there's a lot to learn. You won't get to know everything, but then your ability to learn quickly will set you apart, will give you that competitive edge. Because you see, if the ideas that are coming up new every other day, there are different updates and updates that are happening with tech ecosystem, but how are you adapting to all of this new information and new knowledge that is coming on, the new skills that are being demanded in the market? In addition to that, when learning, the knowledge that you have, it's always reinforced by you being able to share that knowledge with others. So even as you learn and learn quickly, being able to teach others what you also learn, what you've learned will go along with to reinforce your knowledge and also set you to a path of skill mastery. Now, the other point I wanted to mention was that, you see, how can we prepare ourselves to be competitive in the market? You see, if you want to do anything great, or if you want to do great things, you'll have to work very hard. And ingredients to great work include natural ability, determination, and interest, which yield practice and effort. You see, you cannot achieve any competence, much less perfection, without practice. So that's all I can add. Thank you.
Maybe if I can be able to emphasize that maybe in a few seconds. All of us here, I'm sure you know about Posta Kenya. For the new guys, I don't know if you know what Posta Kenya used to do. But you remember Posta Kenya was a company which was doing mostly mail, sending of letters through an envelope. And when Safaricom came in, you remember Posta Kenya took time. They were very slow in learning what the market demanded at the time. And Safaricom came in and took over. But in terms of capacity and resources, Posta Kenya was at that time a very large company which was able to do what Safaricom is doing right now. But because of that slowness to adapt to new technology and learn how the world is changing, right now they have been reduced to just doing some other things which is not majorly tech. So that is a great example of being able to learn and adapt, as my colleague said, fast. Have speed in what you learn and adapt, because the world is really changing on a daily basis. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. If you have any questions for the two speakers, you can raise your hand as we continue the session, so that I will be able to identify you and pick you out. And if you're a team member, if you signed up on Teams, you can leave a message and you can be able to get it, or find any way that you can shoot your message if you're not able to, for the case of someone said their speaker or their microphone was not well. So just find a way to reach out to us, either reach out to Sarah or me. And going up next, I would like to, we've talked about preparation. So most of us here are expecting to maybe get into interviews, and tech interviews out there are known to be a little bit brutal. So what are those tips, maybe a single tip or two that you would give to our students and the techies? Those are the Sasakazi techies in our group. So Azron, please.
Okay, thanks. If I get to the interviews, one, don't just apply for any job. Okay, apply for what you want, such that when you get to the interview, at least you have some kind of an idea what you would be expecting in that interview. But if you apply for any job and they invite you for the interview, and then they have some ridiculous questions that you may not have responses to, or maybe ridiculous is not the right word, it might not really go well for you as a candidate. Now, if you do not know something, just be honest. So you don't try and sound smart during an interview, because you see, you're not the only candidate who is qualified for the role. Actually, being invited for an interview means they consider you for the role. alongside other candidates. And during that session, if you do not know something, just be honest and say you don't, rather than trying to sound smart while they themselves, they know maybe the kind of response that they were expecting. And besides that, on technical interviews, or let me say coding challenges, a tip is the interviewer, because at least this is what is done, or I've seen this done, is they are looking for your approach to solving a given problem, not necessarily the right answer, but how are you going about solving that problem. Not even yet is the problem solved or not, but before there, what is your approach? Are you thinking out loud? If it is maybe a programming question, data structure thing, are you thinking out loud? Do you have some kind of a pseudocode steps on how you're going about to come up with the solution before developing the solution? So that is what I'd say.
Thank you. That is really insightful. Don't just go for, don't just start writing your JavaScript or your C# or your Python when you're given a question. I believe that is what I've picked, Azron. First of all, maybe find out the problem. Maybe try solving the problem in different approaches or in different ways. Have a better perspective of the problem before even you begin writing your code. Is that what you said?
Correct.
Awesome, thank you. Vincent, any tip or two about interviewing for tech roles?
Thank you. So I've been able to be part of an interview for so many years, and I've seen so many people make mistakes, which might give you problems. For me, number one, prepare in advance. Know what the subject is in advance. Research. Make sure at least you're able to answer 90%, especially any tech questions that you'll be given. Make sure at least you're able, even if you're not 100%, at least you're able to authoritatively say and answer questions regarding to what you asked. So prepare in advance. Number two, I would say be smart physically. I've seen many people coming to interviews with funny attires. I understand that the generation is very, very different in terms of how they dress. But generally, be smart physically. It says a lot about you. Be organized. Number three, I would say go out there and show them that you're a team player. Because nowadays, especially in tech, so many projects are being done by team players. And it's only successful projects which only team players are those ones who make sure that successful projects are able to be done in time. So be a team player. Number three, I would say keep time. How do you arrive at an interview 2 hours late? And when you're asked even to probably give an excuse of why you're late, you cannot even say, you just keep quiet. So be on time. If you're late, make sure that you communicate in advance that I've been caught by some issues, so maybe I'm going to be late, so keep time. Number three, I would say maintain eye contact. When you maintain eye contact, it says that you're comfortable and you're sure about yourself. So when you're asked questions and you keep on looking outside the window or down, it says you're not so sure about yourself. So make sure that you maintain eye contact. And last but not least, highlight some of the projects or issues that you've been able to deal with. If you have any projects that you've done, make sure that those are coming out clearly, that you've done 1, 2, 3 projects, and if they tell you probably maybe to showcase, or you can be able to show them what you've done, make sure that you're able. For example, you've said you've built a website for a certain company, and then they ask you, can you provide the URL for that website, and then probably you don't provide. So make sure you are able to provide those previous projects that you worked on. That says a lot about you. Thank you.
Just to add on what Vincent has shared, and he's really put across very, very solid points, things that might go unmentioned. Particularly grooming. Grooming is really, really, really important. And just how you just how you look. You see, we are human beings, and you'll find that most of the time, just from appearance, somebody has some concealed impression of who you are because of just how you look, even before you say anything. And then you speak what it is that comes out of your mouth, and then that again says a lot about you. Now, you mentioned something on doing research, which is very, very important. And I want to share more on that, doing research. It's not just research of knowing your own stuff or knowing the role, but then the organization that you're interviewing for. Right? So not just the role that you're interviewing for, but also the organization you're interviewing with. Okay, because you see, the interview process is not just for you for the organization to see whether you are a good fit for them and a good fit for that particular role, but you as an individual, would you like to work for or work for that company? Okay, so do research about that organization, read about them online, and if maybe you were sent an email if you're sent an invite to the interview by email that has a name, you can book somebody on the link on LinkedIn. You can look at their profile on LinkedIn and just read about them. You don't during about the organization, but there are certain questions that you can direct towards somebody just to get to know them as a prospective co-worker. So that's all I wanted to add on doing research.
I hope is you done, Azron?
Yes, that's correct. I see somebody raised his hand.
Yeah, someone is raising his hand. Melvin, please unmute yourself and speak up.
Okay, thank you. So I wanted to ask, let's say, for a junior developer who has finished just learning or taking a certain course and you have earned your certifications. From my perspective, outside here in the market, it looks like most companies don't want junior developers. They say it takes a lot of time to train them and get them into the, yeah. So I wanted to ask, how do you deal with such a situation?
Vincent, you can go at it, or Brian.
Yeah, thank you. For me, really, the world is very different right now. And I can say that we must be able to think different at this point in time. So for most of you junior developers who want to pursue your careers, number one, I can say in a nutshell, get that thought of looking for a job, I can say out of your head for now. What I can say is, can we try and be entrepreneurs for a start? Because I've seen so many people who have gone to learn in schools, they have certificates, and they spend a lot of years and time looking for jobs, and then they end up giving up because they're not able to find jobs. And you know that our country, especially Kenya, is very competitive right now. So I can say in a nutshell, just think entrepreneurship. There are very many opportunities right now. Just have an entrepreneurial mind because you can really get stuck while looking for a job in Kenya. But I'm not saying that you stop looking for a job, but I'm saying think entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Awesome. That Brian, just okay. Before you go at it, someone is asking kind of a related question that I think Vincent is answering about. Is tech all about being employed? So yeah, Benjamin, that is your question, and I believe it's been somehow answered. So as long as you go to as you answer the previous question, maybe you can also touch on the question that has been raised along the way.
Okay, great. So even as we think about entrepreneurship and not looking for a job, you see, as entrepreneurs, we'll eventually create jobs, and these jobs will not be filled by other entrepreneurs. They'll be filled by job seekers, so to speak, using the term loosely. Now, for those of us who are not entrepreneurs yet, or whose entrepreneurial journey have not begun, or not who are not going, whose journey is not going so great, tech is not all about. What was the comment again? I want to use that comment as it was put. Is tech all about?
Okay, is tech industry all about being employed?
Okay, great. Is tech industry all about being employed? No, but the bottom line is somebody is getting paid. Somebody should get paid. Now you can be paid while the company has subscribed for your time, that is the 8 to 9 hours, or you can build something. That service, when somebody makes use of that service of the product that you have, they pay you. I see. So it's all about payable skills. Now these payable skills can translate in being employed at a given company, company X, or you as an entrepreneur, you have a skill to develop to solve a given problem, and now by solving that problem, money is coming in. Now, that is what I wanted to add on that.
Awesome.
Michael, but as an addition, and probably in addition to what my colleague has said, I can say that you can be able to make sure that you maintain a contact list of your friends, because they're the ones who can connect you to opportunities. So you can come have some kind of a forum where you're able to share what you've done so far. Make sure that you update your information online. If you have an account with LinkedIn, make sure it is updated. But most importantly, make sure you maintain, all of us are friends. And most of us have made it because of the friends that we have in different places. So maintain a contact list of those friends, because it is through that kind of a network that we are able to get out there in the world and show us the world what we have in store for them. Yeah.
There was a question on juniors and companies not, or rather going for somebody to train. Maybe I'm not paraphrasing it the right way, but you see, as a junior, that point where Vincent had talked about doing your research, and I also stressed about it. You can do your research, and now this company actually they have a training, let me say, capacity building aspect to it, where they either train their own, or they train their talents, or even they provide some kind of an environment for training, not just come with your premium skills and then they pay you for the work that it is that you do. But is there some kind of a training and growth skill wise that happen within a given organization? So as a junior, if maybe you just complete a given course and you work on a few projects here and there that you have on your GitHub, you can showcase. You see the companies that you can look for, in places that you're looking for a job. You can also, is there a training opportunity or a skill development aspect within this company for their employees that can draw me to them? But all in all, there are really good companies here that would pick talents even right from colleges, where they have zero work experience, and they put them on the job, they train them. And so for the Eldohub, for example, with Sasakazi, you see, not all the tech talents that are being placed in these companies have like experience in whatever it is that they do. Are you seeing? Because you see, and maybe Sarah, feel free to jump in here. I know the session was just for us guests, but on that aspect of juniors being placed, or given an opportunity, given a chance, I do know that there are employers that actually give chance to juniors who just learn something and maybe do not have a professional experience using a given tool. So let that not hinder you from seeking opportunities. Sasakazi is one that sees to that end.
So Sarah, if you can hear me, maybe have anything to add on?
Yeah, thank you. And the session has been great. And I think all the mentors actually has already captured most of the things. And yeah, I think I do not have anything to add. Just saying that tech world is actually nice to be, and you need to take it positively, whichever the case you have to be positive and happy so that you can always create a good, you can always get a good results. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. So maybe as our final questions, as anyone who has a question, maybe just raise your hand before we get the final reviews. For the interest of time, we're closing towards the end of our session. So anyone who has a question, make sure that you're not left out. Please raise your hand and ask that question. As we wait for any question, maybe what would be your parting shot for the? Okay, Sarah, you have something?
Yeah. I think that something that I just remembered. I worked on a specific project recently, and I actually didn't know that it was big, and I actually didn't know that I was able to complete on a specific period assigned by the tech talent. And this is what I've been telling the Sasakazi team, that you may see actually the time is limiting, but ukifika huko mwisho, you'll be able to achieve it. So what I learned is that actually you treat everything in that specific project as an emergency. And then you actually divide them into modules, and then every module is an emergency because you need to complete it. So when you do it that way, you'll be able to achieve them one by one, and you won't even see the time ikipita. So I think maybe I'll actually challenge you guys, mostly those who are working on the specific project and the time is almost ending. So you just have to treat it as an emergency. You don't even have to sleep. Yeah, you just have to work it out and ensure that before the end of your 31st, you'll be able to complete it. So I think that is it, and thank you.
Awesome. So for our speakers, maybe your parting shot, and on that, something has come up along the way about grooming physically. So maybe when you're talking about your parting shot, just before giving us that one-liner, that thing that you believe that everyone should subscribe to as a techie. So maybe just talk about now the online part of grooming, that is having a good portfolio, or having a portfolio. It doesn't necessarily have to be your own portfolio website. Just having a clean GitHub page and maybe some LinkedIn presence on what could that affect, or how could that contribute to your success as a techie. So Brian, Azron, so just go at it, and then immediately after you, Vincent, you can take up as we wind up.
Thank you. Having a portfolio is very, very, very important, especially for juniors or even somebody just entering the tech ecosystem. One, because it is somewhere that somebody can, it is something that somebody can go and look at and see, oh, this talent has been working on this, and maybe one has an idea of using GitHub or collaborating in a team. That is, if you didn't work on a project by yourself, but you collaborated with other people, it shows that competence of collaboration and teamwork. All in all, it's not just your own projects that you can have on your GitHub, because you see, if say, for example, you open yourself up to these learning opportunities, or even things like, let's say, for example, contributing to open source. Okay, now when you contribute to open source, you see that is some kind of a career capital that you gain. That one, somebody can confirm that, okay, there is a history of this person having done this on GitHub. Just a sec. Sorry, there's a history of this person having done this on GitHub. That is one. And then two, somebody else can vouch and say, okay, so and so did this and this. So having an online portfolio, GitHub in particular, and a neat LinkedIn will go a long way to give you visibility. That's all. Thank you.
Vincent?
Yeah, the same goes for me. Make sure the world knows about you. Make sure you go out there and always have an updated information about yourself. You buy information online so that people can be able to reach you. For example, in the case of having an updated information, if mobile number, maybe you've not been able to update your mobile number for a while, and there's an opportunity and people are looking for you, and your information is not updated. You might miss out on those opportunities because of not being able to update your information. So make sure you have updated information, get certificates, make sure you do these short courses every year. Make sure every year at least you have some kind of a new thing that you've done, especially in terms of skills development. Learn. But most importantly, I like using the word, a common word by our youth today, inaitwa jitume. Jitume, I met this word a few weeks ago. It means in Kiswahili ni kujijaza. Make sure yani kujiamini kama mwanaume ama kama Mkenya. So jitume, always jitume kwa hizi kazi. Don't run away from problems. Anytime you're working on a project and there are major problems, don't run away from problems, because it's only that time that you're able to learn more. It's only the only time that people are able to recognize your skills, especially leadership skills, when you have problems. There was a time I would like sharing this story, a very short story. When I got to Eldoret National Polytechnic in 2014, I was just a computer technician repairing computers and printers. And one time we woke up in the morning and the main server, the main server that we're using, it failed. And most of the team members shied away. In fact, most of them ran away because it was a major problem. Imagine your whole server crashing with all your data, transactions, student transactions, marks, and everything. But I really stood out, and then the principal was able to see my skills in leadership. And I was sent to East African Data Recovery Center in Nairobi to try and recover the data. So I went to East African Data Recovery, but unfortunately they were not able to recover the data. We spent almost a month. We came back, and I was able to come up with a small team, and we started getting to printed papers and getting that data back to the server fresh. And it is only after that time is when they realized my potential, and that's why I'm saying jitume, always run towards problems. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, we have a question, but thank you very much, Vincent and Azron, for our tech talents and our students. Umesikia, don't run, so do not be murife. And Vincent has also said that Jitume is given us a word, Jitume. So, and as Ron Brian mentioned about something open source. So, as you try to put yourself out there, contribute to real projects, join communities. So, we have Ferris. If we can handle your question very fast, and then Ferris or Paris, I believe that should be Ferris.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate the effort that you've made trying to guide us in the right direction. Myself, I'm not into development or those hard IT skills. I'm into digital marketing and related fields. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to join the meeting in time. Is it possible that I could have the recording of the same so that I can go through it later on? Yeah, thank you.
So maybe contact either me or Sarah after this session, and we'll see if you can have, we'll discuss about it.
Okay, thank you.
Juma?
Hello.
Yes. I can hear you, Juma.
My question was, is everyone hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you, Juma. However, your background is a little bit noisy. So
Okay, my question was, also me, I joined the meeting late, and I was requesting that if I can also get the recorded audio so that I can pass through, but I'm a software developer, and I am looking forward to more innovations and technologies towards my career.
Awesome. Thank you, Juma. Again, as I've told Veris, please contact us in person so that we can discuss about that, and we might be able to get the record. With that said, I'd like us to end our session for today. Unless, Sarah, you have anything to tell us, I'd like to appreciate really much. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Vincent, for having this time or spending this time with us. It's been a really insightful session. Personally, I've learned a lot, and I hope everyone else who's in the meeting has learned and picked something that it will help you build your career eventually, and help you scale to the heights that you're dreaming of. So with that said, I'd like to call this meeting off, and thank you everyone for your attendance. Melvin?